Good evening. Welcome back to the bird room. I'm Shane from Direct Bird Products, as you can probably see. Got my new top on. There is a reason for this, and there's a reason why I've been wearing my work top in recent episodes. Is I can't really, or as far as I'm aware, I can't really promote. So if I was to wear a branded name on a top, I would actually get in trouble by YouTube. We can't promote certain things. So all this seemed fitting. My wife ordered me some. It's easy for me to film in now, and well, it is what it is. Anyway, before I get started, I just want to just mention a comment that I've had on. Well, I had two comments on the same guy on the YouTube comments. Quite nasty comments, to be honest. So I'm just going to put it out there. This guy no longer is on our channel. I've blocked him. I'm fed up of his horrible comment. Usually I don't really take offence to it because I'm here to help and offer what I know to novices as it is. But this comment really got me. Well, I'm not going to say what it did get to me anyway. The comment was all about, I'm only in it for the money. Newbie to the hobby that I know nothing. Well, newbie, if after 30 years I'm a newbie, then what does it take to be someone that's been in it for a while and only do it for the money? Well, 99% of our products are cheaper than anywhere else, if that's what you're getting at, or if you're getting at I'm only trying to make money off the birds. Well, people that do know me know that I give more birds away to help people out than sell them. That's not if I'm getting birds for somebody, from somebody, totally different story. But it did really wind me up, I could say, because you know I put a lot of effort into trying to help other people out in the hobby, especially a lot of the newcomers, and yeah, there's just no need for them type of comments. So I don't know why. I've told him before, I said if you've got nothing nice to say, don't bother commenting. It's simple as that. If you don't like watching our episodes, don't watch them. It's as simple as that. Can't be no fairer. But anyway, that's that over with. Another question I did get asked on there by Greyhound, I believe it was, is about when I top the chicks up. I did actually message or reply back to the comment, but for anyone that obviously is wondering why we do top up, it's just a simple procedure that I do to help the birds along. The main reason I did show you, I mean, like I said in the video, that I haven't had to do it at all this year until obviously the nest that was over there, or well, the nest still is over there, but it's got less in. I'll come to that as we're doing the video. But it was because there was 6 in the nest as they've been transferred over from Norwich. There was 2 nests in Norwich, so I made a nest up, and obviously the Norwich had not fed them for the first couple of days properly, so they needed to top up to give them a boost as an helping hand. And I noticed one did have black spot, no longer has black spot. It's no sign of it whatsoever, and it's something that I've said this, and whether it be true or not I don't know, but the hand formula, the hand mix, the All-Lux hand mix that I do use, I have used it in the past and noticed that the fact that it had black spot, and I thought I'd try it over the coming days. It just disappeared, and Matt did touch on it in his video about the fact that he transferred hens, chicks to other hens, chicks that had black spot to other hens, and the black spot seemed to disappear. I don't know about the science of it or anything like that, but it worked for me and it's worked for Matt, so that is the reason I did top up then. Also, in the bottom cage down here is the linnet mules. Now, same thing, the Norwich and the linnet had no interest in feeding, so topped them up and they're doing perfectly fine. But yes, I'm just checking on the linnet with the Norwich. She's actually just put a nest back in. She's about to go back on eggs. So that's why we top up, basically just to give them a helping hand, help them along the way. If if it was that I didn't top the birds up, chances are they probably could die. And obviously there's over 50 chicks now in the shed. There's the Norwich trade, and the other Norwich there, the one that the other chicks are here. So everything's moving on. But yeah, back to that. So we've got over 50 so far in the shed, and fingers crossed so far with the young uns that have especially had full nest of 5. This time around when I've topped them up, 'cause it's the second round, I've not lost any this time. So obviously it's helped me along the way to keep them chicks going, and just to help the cock, the hen out, take a bit of burden off them really. So that was that. Anyway, on to what's happening here. As a lot of people know, I give a true version of events of what happens in the shed, whether it be good or bad. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If something bad happens like it has, I'll explain why later. I will tell you, I'm not going to be giving some false information saying this survived or that was clear when it wasn't, or vice versa. Because then people who are watching this are going to look at it and think, well, why is he breeding them, and why is this and why is that? Why can't I do it like that? So if I was to tell lies and try and make things appear better than what they are, it disheartens others that watch. So like I said, it's a true version of what's happening in the shed at this point. So what is happening in the shed? Well, we'll have a quick scan over here. The 5s are second round. Some of them, number 1, she's chicks from the second round have just jumped. I will be giving some shots as I'm going along. Cage 2, she's just on her second round now. I think they have about a week to go. So cage 3 the same, because they both reared and stuff at the same time, separated them. They're down there. Below them we have the British Bullfinches. Didn't have them in that long before they started building up. She's on eggs now. Don't know if you can hear my kids are outside playing in the paddling pool, enjoying themselves. I'm not going to tell them to be quiet. They're here to have a good time, so we'll just have to bear with it. So moving further down, the next row down, we've got another pair of 5s. She's just hatched her second round. There is 2 in the nest, and I think when I checked this morning there was 2 in the nest. Moving along from them, we have the Yorkie Cross with the 5. She's the one that's bringing up the Norwich. Now what I did, like I said, there was 6 in there, that's why I was topping them up. As they've actually got older, I've managed to, because obviously they grow at a faster rate than what a 5 does, I've actually managed to swap them, a couple of them back to another nest, so now she's only rearing 4 instead of 6, which are in the cage below, which I'll come to shortly. The cage beside of that is just housing a couple of the green finches out of flight 4. Now chicks are due to hatch anytime now. Usually, as a rule, I would have left them in there as long as possible, but what I found is one of the eggs on the floor, the chicks had knocked out the nest and obviously smashed it. There was a chick in it, so I didn't want any more interference in the nest, so I just took them out. They're housed in there. They will be going into a flight cage, basically just weaning them first. So that's what's in there. The cage right in the bottom, she's just feeding her chicks now. She's got 5 in there now, because obviously I put 2 of the Norwich, which was slightly behind the other ones. No, she had 2 Lindy Mules, 2 Norwich in there, and 1 of her own. She's just feeding them brilliantly. Cage side of that, she's just on her second round. They're due to hatch again. So everything's sort of going the right way. And yes, it was 8 pairs of 5s. Anyone that wanted to know, because obviously in Wednesday's episode it was picked out the winner, and obviously there was a couple of wrong answers in there, but it was 8 pairs of 5s. Moving along to the green finches on this other side, I'll spin the camera around so you can actually see, so I can actually talk you through them. So the green finches on this side. Now, what can I say about these green finches? don't know, test my patience. The top flight cage. Now bear in mind, this is another thing. That cage along that back there is 6 foot long, for anyone who wants to know. 6 foot long. And I know that because when I was transferring them from one side to another, they were too long to put where these ones are. So 6 foot long. The cage fronts themselves are 30 centimetres, plus the top, which is another inch, plus the trays and stuff. So they're about 18 inches by 6 foot. Obviously 18 inch, even 20. No, actually not. They're 20 inches deep. So they're not small cages. I've bred greenfinches much smaller than that. For anyone who says to me, the small cages for breeding British sheep, they're absolutely not. Anyway, the top cage, she had eggs. What happened? Cockbird pulled the nest out, and I do know what the situation is, and I'll explain that again further on. Cage down from that. About time. She'd built a nest, never laid. She's actually sat on eggs now. Full eggs. I have took one out to check it. Don't know how many is full. There's a nest of 5. Took one out, candled it. She's actually sitting on some full eggs. Down from that we have the hybrid pairing. The chaffinch with the greenfinch cock. Built up, still not laid, and bear this one in mind. I've got an hybrid pair over there, the same pairing, and obviously a pair of chaffinches. Chaffinches as a rule take a lot longer to lay their eggs once they've built the nest. They don't just, like canaries, just lay like that. They take a while before they actually lay, just to get comfortable with surroundings, and they take a while to finish the nest off as well. The one up there, which I will check shortly, I'm not sure if she's laid this morning, because I have seen her sat when I came in to do this filming, so I'll have a look at that. Now we have a greenfinch pair in the bottom flight cage, and that's the other thing. This nasty bugger said there's no light in the bottom of the cages. There is ample light under the bottom cage. You just can't see it with the camera. There's more light in them bottom cages than there is in one of the flights, for instance. So the flights are well lit because you're getting the light in straight through the windows. There's more light in these bottom cages, so I don't know where that idea came from. Moving along to this side now, we have the crossbills over here. The crossbill, a nightmare with crossbills. So she went down for a second round and hatched, never fed them. I think what happened is with having the young ones in there, just flying around, messing around too much, and caused too many problems. When I actually went in to catch her up, I caught her up. She never looked like she was nesting or anything like that, and sod's law, what happened? There was 3 eggs, so obviously she just laid up before she even sat tight, and just never went to incubate them. So actually they're underneath a greenfinch, which I'll tell you about later. The bullfinch pair, the northern bullfinch pair, she laid 2 eggs, never went to sit. The idea, what I'm going to do with them is either try them under a canary, bearing in mind I'm going to set them at the same time. If I could just catch that. Bullfinch is just treading down right here. You might have just caught it on camera. But yes, what I'm going to do is basically set them at the same time as I'm going to be setting the British bullfinch eggs, because at least that way I can double my odds of them being fed. If the canaries won't feed them, it's like I've explained. Bullfinches, their heads are really rocky as they are between hatching and 5 days old. They're not very stable, and some canaries won't stand it, they just lose interest straight away. So I will be probably putting them under the bullfinch around the same time to feed them, if not. We've got the crossbill with the Norwich. She's built and built and built. She sits, never lays. At the beginning of the season, I would probably say around April time, she actually laid one egg. And if anyone was to actually see this bird, they'd think it's a cock bird because it doesn't half sing. And there's been times where I second guessing myself, thinking, who else would have laid that egg? Well, there's never been anything in there, because the way she sings, you think it's a cock bird, but she definitely laid an egg, so definitely hen. Over there, nothing else to see, just basically they're the weaning cages for the other British fives, whatever, I'm weaning in. I will try and get some of either the young green finches or the young fives in show cages to have a look at a bit of progress about them. But like I said, over the other side, not very much happening where the Norwich and the mule hybrid pairs are, because, well, the Norwich never fed the first round. So going back to the second round now, there's the linnet mule pair and the other Norwiches are built up ready to lay, so hopefully we can get some mules this time around. Going on to another thing as well. So a regular viewer to the channel, Peter Hook, managed to I was going to say hook me up then, but I better not, no pun intended. He managed to source a goldfinch cock for me, which I was going to pair to one of the yellow Norwich hens. Well, it was alright when I got him. A couple of weeks later, this morning I came in, brown bread, he's gone, finished, died, don't know what happened. It's what happens with goldfinches, I've said this many a time, they do like to die on you. Quite a nice little bird as well, and it is what it is, but thank you for helping me out with that, Peter, but this is why I don't keep goldfinches. So here, like I said, the fives have been weaned down here. Now, to this pair of green finches here, you all know that there was chicks in this one. She was on eggs, and I've said this so many times that if possible I don't like to disturb the birds to check the eggs. Anyway, when I took the young green finches out, which are over that side, I will put them in cage because they're actually quite nice little birds. So while I caught them up, she came off the nest, a bit of commotion in the cage. I thought I'd check the eggs and all clear. Would you believe that? First round full, second round clear. So just put the nest sites back up. Looks like she started to build in the corner again. But I think what happened there was, obviously she was too attentive feeding the young ones rather than spending time with the male, the cockbird, to be tread for this time around. So now the young ones are out of the way, can move on and get these back on eggs for some more nice green finches. So we're moving through the flights now. Siskins before I do. Siskins, right. So I Siskins in the cage over there. The cockbird, I've told you that smashed the eggs is a little shit. So I took him out, housed him separately. She sat her eggs, 5 eggs, all hatched. Checked them in the morning, brilliant. I see a little bit of food in the crop, thought perfect. Came in throughout the day, never disturbed, just topping up. Little bit of egg food, little bit of soap seed, bit of green food for them. As I'm doing it later on in the afternoon, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, she was off the nest. There was only one chick in the nest, and I thought, where's it gone? Where's the rest gone? So I'm looking around the cage floor and I found them. The rest were dead. She'd done the same thing again as what she did last time. So I took the one remaining chick out, put under a canary, but it just never survived. It is what it is. So what have I done? I'm fed up of them. I don't want to burden this on anyone else, so I don't want to sell them. Nice birds, never had this problem before. Parents that bred them never had the problem before. Just threw them in the flight and left them to it now. I'm fed up with them. He's here, the Siskin cock's a lovely cock bird, but we'll see. But bear this in mind that some of these, when I bred them, was in the flight, so you just might not like breeding in a cage. Never had a problem breeding them in a cage before. Just proves what I've said many a time, that all the birds are individual. They like different settings and different ways to breed. I mean, I did put a nest site. Let's see if we can see this. No. So I did put her nest site. I'll take a shot of that. Try to spin the camera around. It's not that simple. But she's showing interest in it straight away. They've only been in there probably 4 days now. 4 days, yeah, 4 days. Showing interest in it, but it is what it is. I'm not even that bothered about them. For me, if I'm being honest, they're done for me this season. Others that, like I said before, that I gave a Siskin to an old friend of mine. He phoned me a couple of weeks ago. He's got 4 young uns, and she's back on young uns again. The one that I sorted for Matt, he's bred off them. Another friend, Bill, he's bred fine in the flight, so God knows. And they're all related one way or another. They're all cousins or brothers, sisters. They're all off the same line, so I don't know what the problem is with them. One thing I did think about, and this only come to me a couple of days ago. I went out in the garden about 11 o'clock the other night, only to be met with the sound of an owl screeching away, flying over. 3 nights in a row this owl come around. Obviously looking for food, but that might have scared the birds. You just don't know. But with the sound of it, I mean, I heard it, and I couldn't see where it were, but definitely heard it. Scared the actual living daylights out of my wife. Anyway, she can't stand owls, so quite funny. So, what else is happening? The Bullfinch hen with the greenfinch cock, as I was hoping to have full eggs. She has 5 eggs. I haven't even took them out yet. I did check them yesterday. Clear eggs. I was in 2 minds to whether to let her sit, because like I said, there was due tomorrow. I was going to let her sit for the full course and then let her come off them to make it more natural for her to go to round 2, or to move them force round 2. I haven't actually decided. That's why I've left them in there. The Brambles, I'll move the camera up and talk about them while I'm there. So this is one of the pairs of Brambles. Now, this is the pair I've had the longest. I mean, they attempt to nest over in this corner. Oh, the Bullfinch off, so it's probably a good opportunity for me to actually get in and take the eggs out. But anyway, the Brambles attempted to nest. Nesting material everywhere, in and out every 5 minutes, but not yet built. It is in this corner here. The hen has favoured this, so I'm just going to bide my time with them and leave them to it. So while I'm over here, what I thought I'd do, she's looking a bit not amused. As you can see there, the Bullfinch hybrid eggs look very dark, but believe me, clear as day. So time to just get rid of them, take the nest out and start again with them. So as you can probably see in here, this is the pair of chaffinches. Now these are in here because the well, the crossbills, yeah, like I explained with the second round. So I thought I'd give the chaffinches chance to have a nest up here. She's actually building in that corner there on the left hand side, so we will see how that pans out. This is the other pair of British bullfinches. Now I do know she has built up, you can probably just see it in the left hand shot there. Whether she's laid or not, I don't know. I will go in and check later on. As you can see, there's plenty of light in these flights, so there's no need for anyone to comment saying they're very dark. And that is the pair of bullfinches right there. Happy enough as they are, so hopefully we'll get around out of them. Just there is one of the pairs of green finches. She's on eggs now. I've literally just disturbed her, so I'm going to come away and not mess around too much. I'm not sure if you could see this. This is the other pair of Brambles. Now this end is sat on eggs up there, so hopefully we can. That's a cockbird right there. Hopefully we can get some from these. Just a shot while the hen is just getting some food to feed these. This is an SFI human fights. This is one of the pairs of green finches. You can see there's quite a load of mess around the nest. There's obviously young ones in there, so won't spend too long at it. But yeah, that's one there that don't know how old they are. 7 or 8 days, I should imagine. This is another pair of green finches, the last one I'm going to show you. You can't really see her, she's ducked right down. She's on eggs, they're due today anyway. They might have actually this morning, I haven't checked yet. I beg to differ, I tell her this is the last pair of green finches. She has actually not gone to nest at all yet. She actually is in the process of building right in front of where she is now. So we'll hopefully can get some out of her also. Before I show you a couple of shots of the canaries and various other little bits, the bramble finches. Now the ones that's in the flights that's on eggs, almost, well, I see her sat. Now at this point I didn't know what she had in the way of eggs or whatever, so I didn't check. She had one egg. Later on that day I came out, she looked a bit iffy, kept my eye on her. Next morning I came in, looked very soft, instantly could tell she was egg bound. Went in and caught her up and basically steamed her and done a force contraction one where you steam it, then cool it off, steam it, cool it off, steam it, cool it off. And within 20 minutes she actually passed the egg. Perfect. But one thing I found that the egg was soft shelled, that's why she was having problems passing it in the first place. Same thing again, it's all to do with calcium, and I really think there's something this year that's going amiss, because I give a lot of calcium to my birds in the form of oyster shell grit, cuttlefish and calcibit. But I have heard a lot of birds eating eggs this year, and that's to do with calcium as well. They eat the eggs for the calcium. Some might like the taste, whatever, but it all boils down to calcium and things like that. Don't know what is amiss, but it is. By the way, that's what happened with her. So I steamed her instantly. I put her back in the flight and she bit me just as she was leaving, just to say thank you. And obviously the egg, with it being soft shell, just deteriorated. Since then, she's passed the rest of the eggs fine, and she's sat perfectly. Oh, just a bit of building. I did message my good friend Sean Fitzpatrick and said, if you had to give one tip on Brambles, what would it be? And his answer was live food. Know that in a way. Obviously that's one thing that brings them into condition, and if you stop feeding the Brambles live food, even if they've got chicks in there, they've got no live food, they will stop feeding. Same with the chaffinches, they need live food. So make sure if you are breeding them, you've got plenty of live food for them, and wish you all the success. So that was the Brambles. I'm gonna just do a a couple of quick shots of some of the young ones, just to see a couple of the nests anyway, just to show you the progress of them. And then I'm gonna catch a couple of the fives up, a couple of green finches up to quickly show you how they're getting on. So here's the nest of young Norwich, messy little buggers they are. I think there's one clear in there, rest are variegated. These two young fives that I mentioned earlier just hatched. Plenty of new life coming around in the shed. This is the young nest, a couple of Norwich in there, a couple of Mules, 1-5 as well. This is the young five that's just jumped ship a couple of days ago, looking quite nice. The other one is on the floor. So this is one of the young fives. Now, never been in a show cage. I haven't actually started to actually show train them yet, so we'll see. But believe it or not, this is out of the worst pairing. But when I looked at her, there was just something about her. She's quite tight, small typey. A lot to do, a lot of training to do on these yet, but I will be doing that in a future episode on obviously how I would train, especially the green finches. But yeah, a lot to go with these yet. It's just something that caught my eye and thought I'd share that. Here's another one that caught my eye, I believe, but you can't count this out. This could probably be N from the bloodline that it's come from. Same again, not being in a showcase this one before. It's a white ring, so I know the parentage, so I can actually follow it back. It's got some more to go yet, but when I actually see it in the stock cage before it started pulling, it's got a nice depth for the back. Good leg on it, so we'll see. Don't forget, I have mentioned this many a times, you can get birds, like I said about the worst pairing. It's in the bloodline, it's in the genes, not just visual appearances. Works the purchase rather well considering it's not had no training. Over the next few months I will be doing introducing them a lot more to the show cages than what they are now. This is a young greenfinch cock. Literally he's just come out of the flight from the parent birds, just weaning off, so he's got some real potential, this lad. Need to get him to start looking at the front of the cage, not the back. But first time again, never been in a show cage. This camera doesn't really do it justice of colour either, so quite a shame really. This is a young hen from a different pairing, the pairing that is in the flight cage. Yeah, nice and steady. That's never been in a show cage either, but that's seen me every day as I'm walking past the flight cages, unlike the flights. So this is one other advantage to breed them in flight cages. They are naturally steadier, and I do believe that the steadiness is actually bred into them, but this is one I would watch out for. Just started to molt, as you can see on their head. A few feathers missing there from where the hen plucked it to go to nest, but this is one that I will be keeping my eye on. So that was just a quick look at a couple of the young birds. As it is, I'm not going to stress them out too much, because being in a small show cage so long at a young age can stress them out. And especially with green finches, one thing you don't want to do is stress young birds out. They have enough stress going through the molt as it is, so just a quick look at them. Anyway, how is Mark doing? Me and Mark usually check in long terms, probably once a month. We obviously WhatsApp each other quite often to see what's going on. Not too well with the birds, as a fact, his own words, and I think that's down to this weather. Difference between me and Mark is I can control the climate inside my shed. With the air conditioning, I can actually, if I wanted to, turn the heat up, monitor the lights more. Mark's all bred in outdoor flights, so it's having an adverse effect with this weather. Not just Mark either. I think in the whole scheme of things with birds in the wild, this weather's just caused havoc with everything. Whether it be, like it's done on Spring Watch with the live food and the blue tits, everything has a knock-on effect. And with I'm a landscape gardener, and things are slightly behind this year. I would say even up to 6 weeks in some parts than last year. I mean, don't forget I'm in London, so we're quite advanced to what it is up north in certain aspects with the weather. But it is having an effect on the bigger picture of breeding. So my prediction would be that breeding season would last 2 or 3 weeks longer than usual. I mean, I do know from last year, year before and year before that, looking back at my records, that my birds went down later this year than previously. So yeah, I am saying, I want to say, I think that some of the birds will June, July, even August, I think, before they're really finishing off. Usually June time, July latest, I would be completely done. But this year, who knows? Who knows? Like I said, I've got certain Brambles, green finches, to even make a start yet. Chaffinches have not laid yet, so we'll see. We'll see. That's all we can do, really. But yeah, that is probably about it today. I'm going to check later on, so I'll obviously give you an update in next week's episode of what's happening with the green finches in these, if they've hatched yet or not, because I haven't actually seen them feeding on the nest. But once I've fed these later on today, I will probably stand and watch, see if they actually go back to the nest, because the hen will get off if the cock's not feeding and come to feed. So I will find out. But anyway, thanks very much for watching. Before I do go though, we will be at Sutton, it's Fur and Feather bird sale this Sunday, that's the 6th of June. If you want the postcode, head over to our Facebook page, the postcode's on there, and a couple of other people have posted it on Facebook. If you haven't got Facebook, send me a message in the comments or email us at directbirdproducts@hotmail.co.uk, or even you can send one to our website, believe it or not. Go to our website, directbirdproducts.com, if you need anything to do with the birds, that is. Also, you can send a message on there for any details of the sale. We will be taking a vast range of everything from seed, nesting material, nesting products, drinkers, feeders, you name it, we should have it. We will be taking card payment there as well as cash. We have just obviously invested in the card machine to make it easier. Don't forget, COVID rules do apply at this sale. You will have to wear a face covering or you will not be allowed in. And card payment, this is the reason we've done it, so less contact the better. And if you are coming, be in orderly fashion. Don't be crowding up 20 deep like it has been in the past. But yeah, I mean, any details, give me a shout. Also, like I said, if you need any bird products, head over to directbirdproducts.com. No www, just directbirdproducts.com. Everything will be on there. We do add things regularly on there. We have new stock coming in weekly that we do try and keep on top of. Orders go out mainly same day. Obviously, we've had the bank holiday, so some are a bit slower than others. Anyway, yes, thanks very much for watching. I hope you have a lovely weekend and just stay safe, enjoy your birds, and I will see you on the next one. Take care. Don't forget, like, subscribe if you haven't already. Share the video with somebody who might need this information or just fancies a watch if they're at home bored. Let's face it, we all, when we get bored, we just stick something on we like. Anyway, thanks for watching and you have a good one.